Hi, welcome back to my channel. Now that you've covered the basics, you are ready to solve advanced logic puzzles. But remember, you need to use a combination of the basic techniques as well as techniques that are based on common sense. But these common sense techniques are not easy to find, and in some cases, they are very difficult to spot. And since there are so many different variations, instead of making a tutorial for every single one, I will explain them as I solve an actual puzzle from beginning to end. So we're going to do a advanced logic starters. This is the set of puzzles that comes free with the app. So it's the second one from the top, and I am going to dive into puzzle number 10, the 20 by 30. It says easy, but um, just because it says easy, it does not mean it's actually easy to solve. Um, Even the easier ones, sometimes you need a combination of difficult techniques to solve. So okay, let's go to number 10. Um, so usually I'll just start with the simple ones. There are a lot of given ones. Find them as many as you can. Um, and then you take it from there. So 5 and the 3, right? Difference of 2. So I need to have at least 2 black spaces. I have one, and I only have a space for another one, so that will become black. And these 3 will become gray. So I found the 8, I found the 6. Okay, 4 and the 4, right? Same number. So I need to have same number of blacks and gray spaces in this area as in this area. Right? I have 2 black spaces and I have 1 gray. So these 2 will turn into black spaces, and this one will turn into a gray space. Um, okay, and this is a first example of a common sense technique. And you will find many of these in the more advanced levels, more difficult levels. So I'm looking at the 3 and the 4. Right? Looking at the 3, we have 1 black space already. So the remaining empty spaces, I could only have 2 more black spaces. Now looking at the 4, right? I have 1 black space, so I need to find 3 more. But we know that we could only have 2 in here, right? Because of the 3. So that makes 2 black spaces, 3. So the remaining space will turn into a black space. So we found the 4. Now, since we have 2 black spaces here, 2 and then 3. So we satisfied this 3 here. We found 2 black spaces and the third one here. So this will become gray. Of course, we don't know which of the 2 will be black and which of the 2 will be gray, but we know for sure 2 will be here. Okay, so we found the 3. This is another one here that you run into a lot. Sometimes they're easy to spot, sometimes they're not. So I'm gonna look at the 3 and the 3. So up here, 3, I have 2 black spaces already, so I just need 1 more. That means I could have only 1 black space in this area, right? And looking at this 3, I need to find 2 more black spaces, but here I could only put 1 more, right? So that's 1, 2, so this one has to be a black space, right? And I just found 3 black spaces for this one here, right? So I have 1. Remember, one of the 2 will be a black space, right? So 1, 2, and 3. So this will become a gray space, right? Okay, another one here. This is another common sense technique. So here, by looking at the 3 and the 2, right? So this means, looking at the 3, I just need 1 more black space in here, right? To satisfy this 3. So one of them is a black space. But if you look at the 2, right? We know that one of them is a black space, and then we have 1 more here. So that makes 1 and 2. So we found 2 black spaces already, right? So that means these 2 will turn into gray space, right? Okay, let's go down here. 7 and the 6, right? Difference of 1. So, and 7 and the 6, and I have 2 black spaces in this row. So that means I need to have 3 down here, and this will turn into gray, right? So I found 5 here. Okay. What else? So let's move into, yeah, let's go down here. Let's go all the way down here. Right, 3, easy ones, right? 5, 7, 8, 2, 3, 3, 3, another 3, 2, 3 here, 2 there, 3 here. This is, did I find 4? Yeah, I did. 6 and the 4, difference of 2. I have 2 black spaces, so these 3 here will become gray. I found the 3 here, right? 7 and the 5, difference of 2, right? And on the bottom row, I have 1 black space, so the top 3 will turn into black spaces as well. I found the 1, right? I found the 2, I found the 1, 2. 7 and the 6. Oh, actually, we found the 4 here, so we'll do that. We found 7, we found the 7, 6, we found that. 8, 6, that's good. Another 8. 7, I found them. 8. Do I have 4? Yeah, 6. I get the 8, right? And also 8, 3, 6, 7 and the 4, right? Difference of 3. So I need to have 3 black spaces down here and 3 gray spaces on the top. I found the 7. Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay, okay, this is another given one, right? 4 here. I get the 4, I get the 1. Remember 8 and the 5, right? Difference of 3, so top 3 will become black spaces, bottom 3 will become gray. I found the 3 here. Oh, I found the 1 up there too. 8 and the 6, difference of 2, and I see 1 black space down, up there. So that means this row will be 3 black spaces, and this one will be gray, right? I found the 6. Let's see what else. Okay, let's go down here. Okay, 3 and the 1, right? 3 and the 1, difference of 2, so these 2 must become black spaces, and these 2 are gray, right? And oh, okay, here 8 and the 8, right? 8 and the 8. So if I have 3 black spaces in this column, then the 3 here will also become all black spaces, right? Look at the 7 and the 6, difference of 1. I have 3 black spaces, so I have to have 2 here, so this one will become gray. Same thing, 7 and the 6, 3 black spaces, so these 2 will become gray. Let's see what else. 5 and the 5, right? Same number, so we're gonna look at this row. 2 black spaces, 1 gray, so this will become a gray space. That will satisfy the 8, 7, 6, 8, another 8, 7, right? Did I find 6 here too? Okay. And I found all 5. I found 5, I found 2, 2, 1, 1. Did I find 4? Yes, I did. Here too. I found 5, found 6. Yeah, I found all that. 4, 3, 6. Okay, so we'll look at this 5 here and this 5, right? We have 4 black spaces here, so I could have 1 more black space in this area. Now when you look at the 5 down here, right, since I could have only 1 black space here, the remaining 4 spaces will turn into all black spaces, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since I found all 5, this will be a gray, and I found the 7, 4, 5, right? So that's done. Okay, we go up here. We just found the 3. We found the 3. That's all done. 1, right? We found 3 here. 2. We got that. We got that. Okay, here it could be. This could be another common sense one. a little bit tricky. Look at the number 4, right? I need to find 3 more black spaces because I have found 1, right? But because of this one here, I can only have 1 black space, right? So 1, 2, these 2 remaining spaces will turn into black, right? Now since one of them will be a black square, that will satisfy this one here. So these 2 will become gray, right? So I got the 3, I found 3 here, I found 4, 4, right? 4 under 4, right? Same number. So 2 black spaces and 1 gray. These 2 will also become black spaces, and this will become gray. Right? I found the 3, 4. Okay. Okay, another common sense technique. Um, Sometimes these are a little tricky to find. So look at the 5. I need to find 5 black spaces, but I could have only 1 in this space right here. Because of this, you see the 1, right? So now when I look at the 5, I could only have 1 black space here. So the remaining 4 spaces will become black like this, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Since one of them is a black space, I satisfy this one here. I found it, so this will become gray, right? But we don't know which one yet. Actually, now I do. Now we do, because look at the 6 and the 5, difference of 1. 2 black spaces here, so I'm gonna have to have 1 here, right? This will become gray, right? And okay, this is another one. 3 and the 6, difference of 3. So 3 black spaces, 3 gray spaces. That's a given, right? And down here, let's look at the 6 and the 5, difference of 1, right? And this difference of 1 and all spaces in this bottom row are gray. That means I can only have 1 black space on the top, which I found. So the remaining spaces will turn into gray. So I found all 6 here, right? I found that here. I found the 8, 7, 3. Okay, another common sense technique here. 2. We're gonna look at the 2 and the 4, right? Okay. Looking at the 4, I need to find 3 more spaces, 3 more black spaces, because I will have 1 here. But I could only have 2 black spaces in here because of this, right? So 2, 3, and the remaining space must be a black space, right? Now we found the 2 black spaces here that will satisfy this 2 here. Right? We found the 2, so the remaining spaces will become gray. Okay, did we find, okay, 4 here, we found the 3. Looking at the 2 here, yeah, because of this 1, right, that's 1, 1, and this has to be a black one, right? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, we found the 4 here. So I could do this, 3, right, I did all that, but let me just show you, I'm gonna show you another way. Okay, looking at the 4 here, I need 4 spaces, 4 black spaces, but I could only have 1 more black space in this area when you're looking at the 4. Why? Because of this, right? You're looking at the 3, I have 2 black spaces, so I could have only 1 more black space here. So you know that when you're looking at the 4, since I could only have 1 black space here, the rest will become black like that, right? I just wanted to show you that because that's another technique that you'll run into many times over. So I get the 1, right? That's all that, all done. Let's see what else we could find. Okay, the 6 and the 4, right? Difference of 2, so I need to have at least 2 black spaces on the top. I only have 2 spaces, so they will obviously become into black space. The bottom will be gray. I found the 3 here, I found the 4. Okay, so this one here is a combination of a common sense and the last tutorial that I did, number 8, where the 2 numbers are aligned um, diagonally, right? So looking at the 7 and the 4, right? Well, let's look at the 4 first. Right? Since we have 2 black spaces already, I could only have 2 more in this area. Okay, so I could have 2 more in any of these areas here, right? Keep that in mind. Now when we look at the number 7, we have 3 black spaces, so we need to find 4 more, right? But we know that we can only have up to 2 spaces in this area. So these 2 must become black spaces, right? These 2 must become black spaces. And since I have 2 black spaces up here, that will satisfy the 4 here. 2 black spaces, 2, 3, 4. So that means this will become gray. Okay? Okay, let's see what else we could find. Okay, so now we're gonna look at the number 4. Okay, so this is another common sense technique, but this was very difficult to find actually. So 4, we need to find 2 more spaces, 2 more black spaces to satisfy the 4 here, right? Uh, but in these 2 spaces, I could only have 1 black space because of the 3, right? I could only have 1 more. So I could have 1 here, 2, 3. So this one has to be black as well, right? And since one of them is a black space, I satisfy this 3 here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So these 2 will become gray, right? So that will, I could do that. I actually found the 3 here. I found a 6 here, right? Found the 3, 3, 6. I found that I got the 5. This one, okay, there are 2 different ways to do this. You could look at it, 6 and the 4, difference of 2, right? And in this column, I found the 1 black space already. That means all 3 will be black, right? And these 2 will be gray. Another way is looking at the 7. I have 5 black spaces, so I just need to find 2 more. But I can only put one black space in here in this area because of the 2, right? I cannot have 2 black spaces like this, otherwise, right? Otherwise, that is not correct. So that means one of them is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one has to be the 7th one, right? And since one of them is a black space and there's another one, that satisfies the number 2 here. So this becomes the gray, right? So that was one. And the other one, of course, was 6 under 4, difference of 2, 1 black space here, 3 black spaces here, right? The reason why I wanted to show you that is because one of these easier puzzles, there are actually more than one way of solving the whole puzzle. But as it becomes more difficult, sometimes there's only one way, and that one way can be very, very hard to find. So I just wanted to show you. Okay, so we could look at the 3. I need 3 black spaces, but here, down here, I could have only 1 because of this, right? I have 6, I just need more. So I have 1, 2, 3, right? So these 2 will become black spaces. So I got that. I found the 2. I found 3. I found 2, 3. I found the 4, 6. I found all 5. Found it, right? Now let's look at the 7 and the 7, right? The same number of black and gray spaces in this column and this column. 2 black spaces and 1 gray. So this one has to be gray. These 2 have to be the black spaces. So I found the 7 here, all 7 of them. This is another common sense technique that you see all the time. There are so many, in so many puzzles, you're gonna see this. So this is one of the techniques that you need to really get used to. So I'm going to look at the 3 here and the 6 here. So by looking at the 3, since I have 2 black spaces already, I could have only 1 more, right, down here. Now let's look at the 6 here, right? I have 1, 2, 3. I gotta find 3 more spaces. 1, 2, 3. So, but I could only have 1 in this area. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 2 more. So this and this, they both have to become black space, right? Okay, 3, 4. Okay, and then I'm left with these 2, 5, 6. Okay, so we got the 3 there. I found all 6. 3, 7 is good. I got the 8, 7. I found that. Are we done? Let's see. 6, I got that. 8, 4, 5, 7, 8, the 5, 1, 2. Okay, so that was it. Again, everything that I explained, they were covered in all my previous tutorials. But if you have any questions, please comment below, and either I will explain again, or maybe I'll even make another tutorial just to explain it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.